guys, I am back on this page. It's been a fat minute. It's been a while since I've been back here, but I am back obviously due to the coronavirus. It's pretty much given me an opportunity to be back on camera. Once the Premier League starts again, once everything is good to go, once there's opportunities to create content once again, once we are allowed to go outside once again, I promise I will be back properly and bringing proper content back onto this channel, because I feel like we did have a great thing going on here with the Punch and Munch, with the fan cams, and I feel like it's too hard to let that go, and I will find time around to dedicate to Viper Sport, because I believe there's an opportunity to create in a certain way that I really enjoy. So that's that. Anyway, let's talk about the one thing that we can actually only talk about right now. Obviously the horrible thing with the coronavirus going around right now, it's just absolutely heartbreaking. We've seen the deaths in Italy, the deaths in China, now the deaths in the UK. There's about 4,000 cases in the UK right now, with I think about 172 deaths. So it's absolutely crazy, and we just pray obviously that all of this calms down. And now all of this has also had an effect on the Premier League. We've seen the Premier League be suspended twice now with two different dates. Originally it was suspended till April the 3rd or the 4th, but now it's been suspended till April 30th, and there's so much discussions going around. When are we going to finish the Premier League season? If we don't finish it, are we just going to scrap it off? Is the Premier League just going to be nullified this season, or is nothing going to count? Which will be absolutely heartbreaking for the Liverpool fans, but you know, peak time, boys, peak time. So much ongoing debate about what's going to happen to the Premier League. Obviously we've seen the Euro 2020 be completely cancelled till next year, so the Euros will be taking place in 2021. Let's have a look at the breakdown right now. What's going to happen with the Premier League? The main question is, can we finish it by July? Now that obviously there's the gap with the Euros being completely taken off till next year, can we actually finish it in July? And then the boys have a few weeks to rest and is back on track with the Premier League, which I don't think will be a major issue if we can. The main thing here is, it all depends on the coronavirus and what's going to happen. God willing, the cases go down, the deaths go down to the point where we can get back to our everyday lives again, and then obviously with that the Premier League would start again and we'd go back to normal. But that is completely up in the air, and it really just depends on this absolutely madness how it would work. So it would be pretty interesting, because if we did finish it like late July, the boys would probably have like 1 or 2 weeks and then straight back into the new league, which is not a problem. You just miss out pre-season, and that wouldn't really matter, because you'd already be playing a really good standard of football ending this season and then going straight into next. So as professionals, I don't think the footballers would, you know, mind that really. I don't see an issue with that. So we could definitely finish it in July if this whole thing you know, dies down. Finish it in July and then a few weeks off. There's nothing to complain about, boys. They're on £100,000 a week, but that's not the point. The real talk is they're professionals, and I'm sure, you know, they can manage 2 weeks off and then go straight back into the new season. And for fans, really, that it'd be nice as well, you know, with this whole thing we're missing out, to get back into the league in the summer, and then we don't even have to wait long till it starts again. Now another topic is, if by the 30th of April nothing has gone down yet, should we just continue it behind closed doors? Now this is a huge topic, because that way we wouldn't be too far behind. I think we'd miss I mean, we would miss a big chunk, but we'd go straight back into it. But I think it would kind of cut the whole fun out of everything of football. You want the crowd to be there in the stadium. That's the whole point, especially in the Premier League. You know, the big games, the derbies, you want the crowd to be there. It adds that extra passion, it gives the players that extra drive. So playing it behind closed doors would just not feel right. We'd watch it on the television, and you know, it just I don't know. I mean, it's something that they could consider, but from a fan's perspective, I don't think that would be the way to go. And I feel like also, if you're talking from a business standpoint, they'd lose out on a lot of ticket sales. So I mean, that's completely up to them, but I just don't feel like that would be the right way to go. Fans would miss out on the action in terms of actually being there. The players, I'm sure, would not like that. I've heard a few players say they do not want to play behind closed doors, because it just wouldn't feel right. And like I already mentioned, especially the big games. Can you imagine a Manchester City versus Manchester United game and there's literally no one there, or Chelsea against Tottenham, Arsenal against Tottenham? Any of these big games, can you imagine it? Or even Premier League, the final day of the Premier League, when Liverpool have to, well, it's inevitable that Liverpool are going to win it, but imagine when they have to lift the Premier League trophy and they're lifting it to an empty stadium. That's just so awkward. Like, it's just it's weird. It's like an under 18s Premiership season where, you know, bless him, the stadiums aren't exactly full for the under 18 lads, but when they win the Premier League it's a bit silent and it's just them celebrating. You don't want that, especially Liverpool as well, who haven't won the league in 30 years. Imagine the first time they win it back, the first time in 30 years they win the Premier League, and they're literally lifting it in Anfield, which holds one of the best atmospheres in the world. Even as a fan of Chelsea, I'm saying it, they have one of the best atmospheres. You can't disagree with that. So imagine them lifting it to an empty Anfield, the first time in 30 years they lift a Premier League trophy and they lift it to an empty stadium. That would be just sad. Like, as much as we make jokes about Liverpool winning the Premier League and not winning it, it'd be pretty sad. So I don't think that would be the right way to go. I think we just hold it back till we can play in full stadium. Now, another topic is finishing the season now, and then just awarding Liverpool the Premier League, but not relegating the teams at the bottom. I think it's a bit unfair at this point. If it comes to the point where we're in end of June and we realise that we actually can't finish the season, then maybe award the Premier League to Liverpool. And this would be a hard debate because I don't know which way I feel about it. Would we relegate the teams at the bottom? I mean, if Liverpool are winning it, you know, if Liverpool are winning the league, you kind of gotta be fair and relegate the teams at the bottom. I mean, we did have a good chunk of the season. It's not like we just started 3 games and we're awarding the Premier League to the team that's been on top for 3 games. It's not like that. I think it'd be a very harsh thing to do on the teams at the bottom of the table, and it goes for every other league, the Championship, League 1, League 2. It'd be a very strange thing to do in terms of the league, but I don't think we should do that now. I don't think they're even thinking about doing that now. But it's a matter of fact, if it comes to the end of June, I think it'll be the only right thing to do, because we won't be able to finish the season, and I don't want to see it go into next season, which will be my next point. But yeah, I think if it comes to June, I think we should just award Liverpool the Premier League title, and as harsh as it is, the bottom teams have to go down, because listen, we played a good chunk of the season up until February, so I just think, what else can we do? It'll be a tough thing to do, but you got to do it. Because at the same time, the argument would be, if you completely nullified the season, it'd be completely unfair to Liverpool, who worked their way up and kept that position. They played, you know, in all fairness, fantastic football this season with some luck from the VAR, but that's a different topic. But they did get there, and the other teams at the bottom didn't play very good, and that's why they're there. So, you know, it'd be unfair to nullify the season, because then they'd get away with, you know, all the bad performances. So technically, if that was the argument, you would end the season and just crown Liverpool the champions and relegate the bottom teams. Now, another debate is continuing this season into next season, and then I don't even know. That blows my mind. I heard an argument on Sky about this. I don't know. That would just not work. How are you going to continue it into next season, then kind of break down the 2020 and 2021 season and continue it into the next, and then the chunk of the 2022? See what I mean? I'm blabbering on, and I'm sure your guys are confused. So that's a debate I don't even want to hear anymore. I don't understand it. I don't want to even understand it. I just think it's just bullshit, and we should just leave it how it is, because we should continue with the 3 or 4 good arguments that are there, and there's plenty of opportunities. There's plenty of things we can do to fix this whole situation, so I don't think that continuing into next season is anything good. The only one thing for me is, how is the Champions League going to work? How is the cup competitions going to work? Because obviously awarding the Premier League or the leagues or whatever to the champions and then relegate, that's one thing. But how are you going to work the cups? I think the only way around that is if we again come to a point like in June where, you know, there's not enough games to play. I think if we come to June time, it won't be a problem. I think we can rush the cup, but then again, that will clash. I don't know. That's a good one, actually. Let me think. I mean, yeah, if we come to the end of June, we could just literally end the Premier League season, because there won't be enough time to play in July, but then we can kind of rush the cup competitions. But I don't know how that would work. That's another sticky one. Let me know what you guys think on the cup competitions, how that would work. It won't be too bad of an idea just completely nullifying the cup competitions, because, you know, we're 3-0 down against Bayern, and I really don't want to talk about that. But it's a completely sticky situation. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video. I really appreciate it. I've been working real hard away on my other job at Behind the Gloves. If you haven't checked out Behind the Gloves, go ahead and do so now. We cover all boxing, and also Jacob's been putting his head down, getting to work with his company, so it's been very hard. But like I promised, once all this blows over, I've got plenty of things in my mind that I want to go ahead with next season. I'm really going to push this content, so please stay tuned. Please subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to Viper Sport, please do. Now this is the page where I started out originally with any of the content that I provide right now over any of my platforms and the people I work with. So this was my starting ground. So please do support, because like I promised, there's plenty of content to come on this page. And make sure to follow me on Instagram, which is right here. And I will catch you guys very soon. Stay safe, wash your hands, and don't be a dirty pig.